Good morning, everyone. Chapter 5, Part 2 of the Principles of Creation. I'll show you guys something first. These here, look at this. Ha! The first one I picked out, it was over there. I have another plant over there. I was way on the ground. What is that? I'm going, oh my God, it's a snake. I didn't know they were growing like this. Lindy brought me these seeds. These are Chinese long beans. They're good. They're not very flavorful, I have to say, but it's a really amazing, but look at this. Look at the length of this. And I planted these, and they are just, see, there's more blooms coming right there. I planted these one time, and they just produce. Look at the leaves. There's some little spots where a bug got on it, but mainly the bugs are not really interested in this plant. So, of course, I'm saving some seeds. This is one of the plants that I know, okay, whatever, is something that I'm going to grow for the rest of my life. Beans are very nutritious. It's a dark green, so it's loaded with all kind of antioxidants. Very, very good for our system. And so that's one plant that one can grow and get so much yield from just a little bit, just a couple of plants that will feed you and your family for a whole season. I mean, a whole year, just about. I've got some steamed and in the freezer. I'm drying some. Of course, if you have more than, got 10 or 15 plants, then you can dry the beans and have dried beans for winter time and just store them in a jar, right? Yeah. So cool, right? Yeah. So I saw something this morning where this one dude, obviously, super duper on the left, I don't know how people like that can be Christians or believe in God or anything like that. And he said, well, basically, we should be scared of the right. Okay, the right, which I know as, okay, they're pretty much trying to stay within the realm of God, believe in God. Oh, he's trying, reading the Bible to snap. Surely not all of them, but most of them. All right. In my circle of friends, all of them have a sense of God, belief in God, read the Bible, this and that, regardless what their walk of life. On the left, I found you need all this spiritual stuff, someone reading, and then yet still searching for that spiritual life by having your tea leaves read to you and coffee bean and tarot cards and, as I said, vampires, unicorns, and I don't know what. Okay? One good thing I saw is in Texas now, there's some kind of a Satanist group who says, we're going to. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You're going to. Yeah, yeah. Go and challenge that unborn babies is okay. It's okay to kill them. It's okay to get rid of them. It's okay. Right? Yeah. Okay, I mean, anyone with some common sense, okay, should look at this and go, whoa, what side am I on? No? Okay. So this guy, he's like, yeah, we should worry about, be scared about what the right's going to do. I'm going, yeah, you better. You better be scared. Because God's on our side. Huh? On our side, as long as we stick with the principles of creation and the principles of love, yeah, he's on our side. Definitely on our side. And we will come for your immoral behavior. Oh, not by eliminating you, not by advocating genocide like you do, or they do, but by going out and teaching, educating you. No, you can't do that. No, that's not accepted. No. And you will submit. You absolutely 100% will submit. Whew. Do I take a strong stance here? Well, people, that's what's needed. I mean, you want to start telling me I have to, with my tax money, pay for someone's immoral behavior, bad choices, though you have you have a choice to make the right choice. Then I just will completely take myself out of circulation and say, okay, good luck with that. But I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not going to be a part of that 1%. I will start to support, already do, to the best that I know how, my fellow man on the side of God, with trade of certain things, with rescuing certain things, with if I have to be a part of sales tax, it's going to go to the people that I know around me who are on the side of God. I will shop there. That so many people are still who are on the side of God supporting Amazon is a mystery to me. Or Walmart is a mystery to me. Yeah, but then, no buts. Yeah, there are some pretty sad consequences to when you start to take a stance. And some people sometimes have nothing to do with it per se, have to suffer and sacrifice under. All the employees around here. But again, those employees could take a stance too and say, Walmart, we're going to walk out. We're good. We're going to try this another way to not be a part of this insane leftist, liberal, feminist, Democrat, party agenda. Or be out there and voice yourself as well, which a lot of people actually are doing, but in a very odd way. We're not out for revenge. God's never out for revenge. Okay? The principles of creation do not allow that. Has he ever interfered? Oh, one could say, well, okay, I should say that if I need rain, and I said, well, it's not like I can control the weather, this and that, but it's kind of at the time where, I could use a little, and it comes. It always does, per se. Oh, really? You'd have to come live here. You'd have to spend some time around me to know that. I saw another one this morning where I go and I like to watch people. I like to watch and see where they are in their spiritual growth. I do, or their understanding of, on how the world actually works when it comes to the principles of creation and the principles of love. Mainly the principles of creation, which is the beginning of anything. And she says, well, when there's something, and then I talk to God, and God is asking me to do something. God's asking you to do something. Number one, so you have communication with God. Whew. That's pretty phenomenal when I talk to people, right? Yes? Okay. I'm going, okay, in my case, it usually, that asking sounds more like a demand. Okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because when you are the armor of God, then there's no question on where you're going. There's no deciding, oh, you're asking me so I can make a choice. No, it is, okay, what do I have to do? That's the discipline and the obedience that goes with being the armor of God. A part of the armor of God to protect the principles of creation. Then, as things move on, of course, the principles of love. So, they're unchanging. So I think I'm going, how old are you? Look, older than me. Obviously, you have communication with God, and yet you are questioning, well, how do I do that? Well, number one, okay, to me, it also always sounds like a demand or insistence. If I don't listen, man, the tapping on my back, on my shoulders, the constant interference, spiritual interference when it comes to my own heart to mind, it's always there. I get reminded, all right. It isn't, okay, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to take that job. Okay? It's just the thing is more, okay, when am I going to do that? Right? When am I going to be ready? Often I have to prepare myself. Right? It isn't just an instant kind of thing. Anyway. Principles of creation. Oh, by the way, are you guys noticing all the hay I got in here? I was going to show you guys the support that I had from creation. Right, Maddie? You guys see all the hay? Yes, I had a friend come over yesterday. And, he called, says, hey, Billy is cutting more hay. He says, do you need any? I said, yes, I need at least, if we can get 10, that's great. If we can get 20 bales, woo, we're set for winter. Around here, when you have animals like we have, though, I have no doubt that even if I don't have any hay at all, this is all perks. This is all extra perks, okay, for our animals here. We would survive through the winter without any kind of outside anything. This place is set up like this, okay? It's a microclimate. Yeah, the horses would get a little skinnier. You'd probably see some of their ribs, this and that, but that's wintertime, right? Yes. Well, all right. I need that to walk. So, here we go. Yep, here I am. Yep. That's what I do. I've done that for the last 19 years to get ready for wintertime in the best possible way. And to never let it come to a chance where I suddenly start running out of hay. Again, if I do, all right. If I don't have any feed, all right. If I leave the animals out and they can roam here just about 24/7, they would be all right. They would survive until the grass would start growing again. They'd be fine. What I found is that over the years, I had many phone calls from people saying, hey, do you got any extra hay? No, not really. Yet I helped out anyway. And then I just adjusted the amount of feed or the amount of hay that I would give ours. That's called sharing. What I found in the principles of creation is that when you unite with it, okay, and the number one thing, first of all, that you can do that is you yourself, as an individual, you unite with the surroundings that you have in the principles of creation, and try to unite with it. I saw another one today. I started 3 different books again. 3 different books. I suggest that to you all. There's the Bible. Then there is the Divine Principle, and I have the Black Book. I do not like things watered down, which is the Brown Book. I like them. Give it to me as difficult as you can, because that includes way more information than a watered down version, which misses a lot. That's me. Yeah? And then there is a prayer book of True Father, Reverend Moon, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. There's a prayer book. It's huge. It's not cheap, but again, I never asked for. Did I need that? Oh, I didn't even know it existed until a friend, Lee Titus, thank you very much, though we are on very much different planes now, in a way. He gifted that to me. And I've read the book. I've read all of these books from front to back. All right. Just like a lot of people, I did pass over some things in the Bible. But from the front to the back. So at this time there was this really strong desire from Spirit World, because you need to start reading these books again. And I'm going, I do. Yeah. Then I thought, wait a minute, I do? Okay. Is it time? Yeah. Okay. And it's always for deeper understanding. I've read so many different passages in the Bible. And as my spiritual growth happens especially through my unity with the principles of creation, how things grow, how things are, how things are born. Do you know there's not one animal on this planet that aborts their own unborn? Not one. We are the only thing here on this earth who does that. Consciously. Knowing full well. Oh, the only thing. Well, that will bode well anywhere. Well, anyway, so and then there's always buts. Don't give me the buts out there. As I said, it is an insult to my intelligence to bring up certain things that are unavoidable due to certain circumstances. Due to, again, not because they weren't meant to be. Not because, oh, that's just the way it's going. No, it's usually a consequence of immoral behavior, of a bad choice that someone made, didn't think ahead, didn't do this and didn't do that. But it is never that is part of the principles of creation or the principles of love. Never, ever. I've talked about these gray areas. So, when you are spiritually open enough, when you have, so books, wait. So I'm going, okay, I've read all these books so many times. Okay, the prayer book I only read one time, all the way from the front to the end, and it almost took a year. I said, okay. And then I had this idea. I said, I'm going to start from the back. I'm going to start every book, Bible, the Divine Principle, and that prayer book of True Father, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. I'm going to start from the back. Oh. And I started that this morning. I did that one, and then oh, there's a sequence here, a very interesting sequence. Then I had and the one, it was about language, on how language divides the people, and that we need to have a universal language. We need to recreate a universal language. Well, in a way, that has been taught, that one particular language spoken is it. Now, after I've read all 3 parts from the back, I'm going, that's not it. That is not it. The universal language is the one of God. And the universal language of God is the unification of the principles of love, which is us, with the principles of creation, the substance, the earth that God created for us to have give and take with, then to grow as his spiritual children, then to have give and take with him. Pretty amazing. That's the universal language. That is the unified language. And then you can communicate with anyone. You want an example of that? Lindy. Lindy is Chinese. She's 75 years old. And she came to this country about 7 years ago. And she knows thank you. She knows go home. She knows planting. And hello. And goodbye. And that's about it. I know Sisi, which means thank you. In Chinese. And yet, through the love she has to grow things, the knowledge she has to grow things all year long, is, and my love to grow things, my love to want to keep certain things from our ancestors from way, way, way back, who survived on just what there was out there with the principles of creation and their unity with God to grow. That unifies us. That unites us. Even though she doesn't speak English, I don't really speak, not really, even after 7 years. That's, when you get older, I noticed that too. It isn't that easy anymore to learn a whole other language unless you, okay, she is in the country. Well, anyway, what does it matter, right? Her mind is so focused on the principles of creation to growing things, she doesn't really need to have a whole lot of communication with people otherwise, per se, except for her own people, her own family. Yet, when we are together, it's like, we got this, right? And that's how we communicate, through the principles of creation. Through growing things. You see? Yeah. Quite unified in that regard. That's just an example. Is it the perfect example? No, but it's an example. So in spirit, there's no language. I have spirits coming from all over the world. Who knows where, this and that, I don't know what. Yet we all speak the same language. It's the language of restoration. It's always the language of restoration. Yeah, sometimes I have to try and figure out what that is. But the answers always come through one form or another. As I said, God doesn't really ask you anything. It's a demand. It's an insistence. You can do this. You are a part of this. You're a part of that. Do your job. Do your job. What do they say? Can't have 2 masters. You have one. I would say most likely in anyone's life, you will choose a guide. That's what a master is a guide. It doesn't, master sounds dominance. you're the subservient servant to the dominance. Really, when it comes down to it, it's a guide. Who would you choose as the best guide in your life? Someone that abuses you, someone that cheats you, someone that just profits off of you, or someone like God, our Father in heaven, who looks at you and goes, I know you can do that. I know you can do this. Because I gave you everything to succeed in that or this. So I know you can do it. Now, where is your confidence? God has every confidence in you. Thank you, Tony. Tony brought me all this hay, and we like to talk when we are by ourselves. We talk about just about anything. And so we like to talk about politics. So you talk about all that, and you realize when you have someone that it's one thing when you argue with someone over things. Then there's just no it's just arguing is not the way to go. But then when you're with someone where you have good give and take per se, in the realm of you have a common denominator, and you find you have a release, and the other person either says, well, yeah, but listen to this one too, or that, then you start to, that's another way to unite, on where then you build up on, each one's way of how do we think. We're each an individual, but how does each one of us think, even on a very, very similar path? Which then kind of, I realized on how is it that if I say certain words, if I say, okay, in the principles of creation, there is not one animal out there that will abort its own unborn baby. It happens that they have miscarriages as well. But there isn't. There isn't one. Absolutely there isn't one. Then I say, we are the only ones, the only species out there, more or less the only species who can act under the umbrella of rhyme and reason. The only ones who think we have the right to be that conceited and hateful towards our own unborn children. Whoa. And then, now, wait a minute. That's wrong. Then you have people come back at you going, yeah, but you don't understand. I don't? Which part? What are you saying? You see? And the scary thing out there is that how many people are abusing the very simple, set in place, just to follow step by step principles of creation, and for their own selfish behavior and benefits. And I can hear people go, yeah, but. I'm going, but, yeah, but. Jehovah, I am who I am. It's very frightening to think on how the principles of creation, when I see chickens having babies, on how protective they are of their babies, and on how other chickens kind of, okay, yeah, you need a little help, become aunties. Huh. How roosters go, oh, yeah, want to stick around you, something ain't quite right here. Interesting to watch that out there with chickens. Chickens, roosters, chickens. I'm whispering, you know, like, God, okay, all right. All right. And then to know, to hear, to have been a part of, then it continued on how people out there are in a cruel, absolutely horrific, disgusting way are defiling the principles of creation by aborting their own flesh and blood, sexually abusing, defiling fathers, their own daughters, mothers, their own sons, uncles, their own nieces, all their children. And even though the people around them know something's going on, they're not doing anything about it. Haven't done anything about it. With the principles of love that we have inherited through being created in the image of God, we are the guide of the principles of creation, per se, and have mastery of it if we decide to take on responsibility in the right direction. Yet, the destruction of it that seems to give so many, it isn't a few out there, the pleasure to destruct it, to defile it, to take advantage because they can, is unnerving. If you ever come to a stop sign, this is something that needs to be stopped. It won't get stopped by being loyal to one thing or another that at one point or another you thought was right. When you start to realize that you cannot unify under an umbrella like that, with people like that, because all it does is the stink that comes off of you spiritually is just will intensify. So does it really matter here? You can do whatever you want, this, that, hide things, cover things up, keep everything in the closet, this, that, what? Yeah, you can do that. You're going to have a very rude awakening, though. Well, it's a warning. I don't know anybody who's lived past 120 or something. Anything else out there? These monks that. Okay, whatever. No. No. What What? Okay, I'm not going to go there, okay? You can't spiritually control the laws in the physical when it comes to the principles of creation. It's not possible, okay? It just isn't. Yeah, sometimes you have someone live way past and they're still, wow, but eventually they're going to pass. Sometimes you have an animal and go, wow, that animal lived a long time. Yeah, but eventually they're going to pass. You see? Yeah. Then you're facing a whole other world. Oh, I like the one where, oh, we're just going to be reborn. Yeah, good luck with that one. I'm just saying, people, wake up, you know. You can't change the principles of creation and the principles of love. You can't do that. You especially cannot change the principles of creation. You can't. They are unchanging. They will always surpass you, per se, with stability, instability, per se. Earthquakes, hurricanes. How are you going to control that? Volcanoes. You're not. You can't. Yeah, you can ask for extra rain, and okay, all right. But really, so you can't control that in any way. And only with your own interference can you control the reproduction of any animal. Right? Oh, anyway, I could go on and on and on and on. I think you guys get my drift, right? Okay. All right. So, neither the principles of creation nor the principles of love are separate. We need to find, again, the unified language between the two of them. And we need to find, when we find that, as human beings, we'll find back to the absolute principles of love, which then, the number one thing we will do, better than anything else we want to do, is care for our young. Yes. All right, God's love and blessings always, and I will talk to y'all another time.